going back to the wool. It is nighttime right now, but I still wanted to show off you know what? I need to just go ahead and break some of these leaves. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this building because I had started showing off my design for it a little bit, but didn't really get far with it, and also did a pretty bad job at explaining it. So basically, this building is going to be a really tall building situated right here, with a basement and then a couple of floors going up, and it's also going to taper in a little bit. So it's not just going to be a box, there is going to be a little bit of a shape to it. The two levels, because you can kind of see how each floor is planned out. So you have level 1, level 2 is going to go about here. And then you're going to have like 3, 4, 5, and then there should be room for a 6th floor before reaching the top, and then the roof. So these 2 floors though that are marked out, I actually need to get rid of that because it's not, basically this is where the tapering in is going to start. So it isn't actually going to come out to the corner here, it's going to go in a little bit. That's the idea for that. I just messed up when I was planning this out because I kept changing my mind on how I wanted this building to look. You can kind of see it like that, yeah. Where you had this, but this also was changing a lot because I kept lowering the building before I just had a whole floor here. So, this staircase is temporary. Probably not going to have it right here because I think I'm going to have the entrance to the house right here because of where the path is. So I just wanted to show that. I think later on I'll probably come back here and build some more so you can see exactly what the design is. Now, I know that a couple of you are probably wondering, well, why isn't this fully completed? Why aren't you just putting all your effort into this? Well, it's because I started a lot of different things and just kept building little things without finishing them. But I do have some good news with that. This is a bridge that I started and I have finished. You can't really see it too well, unless I go over here. I've also spent a lot of time collecting wood. Why am I about to craft that? I don't need to craft that. So, yeah, here is the bridge. Good job, me. And you can see that it looks really cool. To me, I think it looks really cool. There's actually a undo floor thing. I don't know what to call that. But you have the main area that you can walk on the top, and then you have a little part underneath that is, I don't know, probably good for maintenance or whatever. But yeah, I spent a bit of time trying to figure this out. I kept kind of messing about with some patterns in the stone, and then eventually just landed on a design that looked like this. However, it's not quite done. I got inspired a little bit by a thing that I saw that I'm going to try and explain. Actually, you know what? Do I have... No, I don't. Maybe I still have some? No. So, I'll go ahead and do it this way. The pattern that I saw, I'll start to explain right now. So it was actually a pattern for the bridge crossing. However, the pattern had the like normal stone, or well, the stone that you would like break in order to get this stone. So it was a mix between that alternating with these, which I thought looked pretty cool. Obviously I don't have that stone on me right now. Yeah, that stuff right there. But the idea is that it was like a checkerboard pattern that just alternated. Otherwise, the main thing I've been working on a lot of is the Cathedral. As you can see, there is a lot more going on now. Where there's now not just stone that is like the outline of the building. There's actually some more substantial things going on here. Yeah, so let me get to a spot that is safe, because I've fallen off and died from this before. So yeah, it is definitely pretty tall. Here is how I'm going to explain this, because it has taken a while for me to figure out what I wanted to do with this. I've had to reference a lot of pictures of architecture, of like cathedrals and stuff, to make a plan for this. But essentially what is going to happen is there's going to be a floor that will be right there at that level, okay? And the ceiling, compared to that floor, is going to be up here. So this is going to be some, you could call it like a hall, like a dance hall, something like that. That is going to exist right down here, and then all the way up here is going to be the like cathedral thing that I'm trying to build. I have another word for it, that's all I can think of. So down here though, because you're going to notice that immediately there's a little bit of a space problem, because, well, yeah, the floor can go right here. There's kind of a mountain in the way. So I'll get to that in just a second. But basically, this is how big this room is going to be. Where you can look up, and really high up there's going to be the ceiling with a little bit of curvature to it, to the support beams, or triangles or something like that. I'm still trying to figure out if I want it to be archways that are supporting it, or if I want triangles. There's going to be windows that take up all the space here between each of these big columns. And these columns also are going to stretch all the way to the top and beyond to reach the roof of the actual building. And I think it'll look pretty cool having such a big structure like that here. It is probably going to be the biggest part of the castle currently. Speaking of, so one thing I did notice is if you look right here, okay, so this actually lines up. This is about the edge of the building. It actually lines up over here a little bit. It lines up right by this torch, roughly, from what I can tell. Yeah, see? But this is the other bishop. So this bishop can actually be connected directly to the whole castle, because it's right here. So when I eventually build this, I am going to dig out a little section for some stairs to go down into maybe some kind of like cellar, and then connect it to a hallway, which might actually be exposed by this. I'm not too sure. I haven't planned it out yet. Or maybe I could run the hallway right under here, kind of between this edge and this edge, and then just connect it over here to the hall, right down here. Yeah, right about here. I think that would be pretty cool. It definitely would help with making the building, or the whole the whole castle, more sprawling and immense. So, okay, now the next thing I wanted to talk about was the exterior of the building. So, there are these, in my mind, they kind of look like archery targets, or targets you'd have at, I don't know, like a range. Almost like add another ring, and then another ring, and then, do I have my bow? No, I don't. Yeah, they kind of look like that, but let me explain them. So, what's going to happen is there's going to be these beams that also, or these support columns that are going to have these beams connecting to them. And these support columns are meant to help reinforce the wall and as well the support columns on the sides of the buildings. Because the idea is that given how tall this building is going to be, having it also have a wider base, is going to help with basically not having it be top heavy. But it will also reinforce the wall a little bit because like the weight of the wall there, say it is shifting to the left a bit, well it's not going to go forward because it's going to be putting weight onto a structure right here. In this particular case, I might put another one here just to hold up this beam, but if you look at like this one, right? Well, maybe if I put some stuff back there, it'll work even better. But the idea is that it's going to be redistributing the weight into the land a little bit better and onto other structures. That way the thing doesn't fall. Because there's going to be a beam that goes this way and then one that goes diagonally. This is for the architecture design I'm going for, it's actually called a buttress. So that's what I'm building on each of these columns. Now, unless there's something like this, because obviously this land is already here, so it doesn't need to have a column here, I'll just put a smaller one here and then it just connects directly like that, right? I'll do that because that will make a bit of sense, or a bit more sense than like clearing out more land just to put in another column. I'm having to think about this in an interesting way because all the structures I keep using for references, I keep finding pictures of, mainly like cathedrals and stuff like that. They are all sort of built on flat land, it feels like. So there's not a very clear obstruction of a hill. And even when I've looked into that a little bit, it's still not quite like what's going on here. So I'm having to sort of improvise. So it's fun doing that. I enjoy doing that a lot with this particular project. So here's what's going to happen. I'll go ahead and explain this. So this building is going to have a pathway that goes around it. However, I've come up with a decision that there's going to be a pathway that runs right here between the columns, and it will go somewhere. I don't know if it's going to go all the way up here to this area, though this wouldn't be a bad spot, because, well, actually this might not make as much sense because there's going to be a building right here, most likely. But I'm thinking if there were, say, doors here and then a pathway that went this way and then ended about here, you could have a little pathway that kind of comes off of it and goes up here into this garden, but it's not going to be a main path. Instead, I think the main path is actually going to go through these doors into the hall. This could be like a little kind of reception area here. And then out here, you'll have a couple of different paths that you can pick from. You can go, well, probably not directly this way, but you can go a little bit off to the right, head this way, sort of towards the house there, which there is more over there that I want to show. Or you could go left and then go down some stairs that are here and end up down in that valley. Yeah, you can see how a path there could then connect down here to the end of the tunnel. And then going off to the brook that's all the way out there.